now I see Megan. All righty, you're gonna have to take this ribbon off because this tinsel is scratching my neck. I guess I'll keep the bow in my hair because she's messed my hair up.
And I got any more things up?
So, this is the countdown till Christmas. I want to tell you this. Well, there's my friend from Savannah. Hi, Robert. This has been the most simple Christmas season I think I've ever had. The first week I spent on a cruise with my two daughters. My third one, my youngest, was going, but she had other plans. Things came up. No, her son was proposing to his now fiance in St. Louis, so she went there. And then my dear friend Misty Clark, she was with us, and she did the singing. So we kicked off December with a week on a cruise, and it was absolutely wonderful. And invite y'all to join us. We're going to do one in September to Greece. I'm looking forward to that. So, one of the things that, like I said, this has been the most simple as far as gift buying and all of that, because my youngest daughter and Cam came to me, her partner came to me, and they said that they had an idea for Christmas. And I said, I'm always open to new ideas. And what they proposed is none of us need anything. We don't need one thing. We've got too much tinsel to get all wadded up in. So, no, none of us needed anything. So what they proposed was for each family member to come up with an experience that the whole family could do. And we're doing these experiences coming up on till Christmas Day. And it is so much fun, and you have to get creative, and it doesn't cost anything unless you go somewhere where there's a fee. But we're just having so much fun with it, and we're spending time with each other. So we've already done the Light Fest here we did that Sunday. And Cam was so sweet, and she rented me a golf cart to ride in. And I got out there and decided I do not want to ride in anybody's golf cart. I wanted to walk. So we walked. It was beautiful, gorgeous, seeing the kids. And anyway, it was great. It was so good. We're going back Friday night, and my grandson will be here from St. Louis, and his fiance. And so we're just we're going tonight. They love to go to Perini Steakhouse, which is a destination place. If any of you have never heard of it, people come fly here just to go to Perini. So we're going to get to go there just tonight. And then my part, what I'm doing is I'm taking them to a family Christmas concert by Aaron Watson, and that'll be fun. I'm taking them to the country club for dinner before that. And then Karen is taking us to, like I said, we're going to go back to the Light Fest. And then Karen, we're going to paint on canvas, go somewhere and paint. And it's going to be fun. And they're going to teach us how to paint. And that will be an experience. The fact of it's all about just getting together. It's just getting together. And the reason that we can do this is, and I guess I just want to throw some bouquets at ourselves, but the people that are involved, my daughters, Cam, my son and his future wife will be joining us on Christmas Day. The thing that I want to say is recovery works, folks. Recovery works. And used to, you can mark it down. there was going to be some kind of conflict, especially when my folks were living and my sister was living. And my sister died last year, and I absolutely believe she died of untreated codependency. She was one miserable person. And I was the matriarch of the family, although I was the youngest. And we had moved to Abilene. We had a big old 2-story house that we'd restored, and so we would invite, they'd all come to our house for holidays. And then Mother and Dad, of course, couldn't come because Mother was sick and Daddy was mean and raging. And so anyway, I'd always go out there the weekend before and do something for them. But anyway, I don't care how nice the day was or the days were while my sister was here, but you could mark it down. She was going to get her Tinsel and a Tangle over something, and it would usually be our kids. And all would be well, and she would just be so excited about coming. And I look back today, I know she was an untreated adult child of an alcoholic, and she made fun of me for going to Al-Anon and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I mean, the kids would be playing, and all of a sudden my sister would get mad about something, and she would jerk her group up, her family, her kids up, and they would be crying, but they would leave and be out the door before, I mean, you could just say scat. And Karen shaking her head, she knows, and so I'm grateful. I'm just telling you that little story to say I'm so grateful our life is not like that today. It is not like that. And that is due 1,000% to recovery. It's about, we have all learned to have some healthy self-esteem, and along with that, we've all learned how to set boundaries. And, in those early days before recovery, I didn't know how many different ways there was to fry bacon or to cook a turkey or whatever, but, oh my goodness, there's Natalie from across the pond. It's good to see you, Natalie girl. Yeah. And so, anyway, that's the kind of drama that I lived in all of my life. And I could tell you stories about Christmas days at my, when I was growing up. But, if you've ever lived in the disease of alcoholism, you can kind of make up what it was like, and particularly to have an alcoholic mom. And I always say, my mother would have done better if she could have. She had a disease that prohibited her from being who God really made her to be. And so Christmas has always been important to me, and I've overdone, and I would get my Tinsel in such a tangle, and that's just what I did because I wanted everything to be perfect. But by the grace of God, through the program and a lot of people helping me, I don't have to do that anymore. And my kids don't have to do that, where it's not, so saying all of that, one of the things, I'm going to go through some hints, some things that might help you. I'm looking at a lot of people here in recovery, and y'all, but there's people who watch this that are not on the screen here. And so what I'm going to say is y'all may not need this because you're all in recovery. But just in case that you have a little slip in your behavior, Bradley, in case you kind of get upset during the holidays, this could be all for you, okay? That's my friend Bradley. So he's not even joking with me. He's just got his Tinsel in such a tangle, he's not even laughing. All right.
I'm concerned with your outfit today.
Are
I've
you?
reached out to Misty that you may have relapsed and wondering if there are some concern. As you speak about the Tinsel being tangled, when I jumped on, I do have text to Misty with some concerns about your recovery, but I don't want to bring that up publicly, so I'm just going to send that to Misty privately, and we'll address that on the side, okay? Cindy, you brought it up. I'm sitting here trying to be quiet.
Thanks for your concern, Bradley. I'll tell you, the closest that I've come to relapsing in my alcoholism was yesterday in Walmart.
Oh, Lord.
If you want to test your recovery, go to Walmart at Christmas. So Misty and I was there. It was packed. I texted her and I said, meet me on aisle 21. That is the wine aisle. And I told her, we'll just break open a bottle of wine and we'll sit in the middle of the floor and drink it. And then they'll be announcing. And we had matching Christmas shirts on. They both said Merry. And like
I
Miss-
nearly had my first
Did I
drink.
not hit the nail on the head? I mean, I said I had concerns about her recovery, and she is now feeling comfortable. I'm just glad this is a safe space.
It's a safe space.
At Walmart yesterday. Anything else you need to share?
And it would have
before we
been
move on?
a little embarrassing for them to announce there's two women down in the floor on aisle 21.
A preacher's wife and a treatment
preacher's
center.
wife and a treatment center owner. Come quick. So anyway, one
Brad,
of
can
the
you make some time for them?
I don't have enough with the holidays upcoming, but this is a safe space if she wants to just kind of briefly share anything else. Go ahead. Again, I'd like to remind you that I was sitting here quietly until you folks.
So later you'll probably get together doing an intervention on me. All right. But if you do, put me in one of those really plush places, you know. Well, now look at Loretta. Now that is Loretta. You should have seen her on the cruise. Her and her daughter Natalie were there. And oh my, they made the cruise. It was just a fun time. And they didn't drink a drop of nothing. Anyway, you can have fun and laugh without drinking. And ignore my friend Bradley. But just in case, I have your number, or Misty does, in case I do get into that wine. I mean, if I did, Katie bar the door. So anyway, all right, what I want to talk about then is going into the holidays, or going into, they're coming up, and you're going to, probably all be together, or you may not be, together with many people. And that in itself, or if you're alone, that in itself can present a problem. But anyway, number one, keep your expectations down and your acceptance high. Go into the wherever you're going to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Don't be like my sister and build it all up in your head, and we'll do this and it'll be like that. There is no picture perfect holiday. We're all human beings having a spiritual experience here on earth. So go into the holiday, or, mainly when you get together with family. Sometimes we have the hardest times around the holidays with those that we love the most. And I want to say again, as God is my witness, we do not have those upsets anymore. And I think, at 81, I think what has helped is the kids just ignore me. I mean, they don't let what, I do bother them. I hope they don't. But anyway, there's no conflict, and I am so grateful for that. Karen and I could tell you lots of stories about conflict, couldn't we, Karen Lee? And we don't have to do that anymore. And it's all due to the program. Okay, keep your expectations low and your acceptance level high, and be realistic. And don't strive for perfection. Just, like the program says, strive for perfection, but just settle for a little progress. And, you don't have to put up all of those decorations. We didn't put all of ours up this year. I'm saying, Misty has given me the eagle eye. I have
There
not
ain't
put
no
up
we,
one
nobody.
thing. Misty does the decorating for me. She does it. And that helps her and it helps me. And I told her since we were gone and the first week, I said, "I'll put it all up." So anyway, embrace the imperfection that comes with family gatherings. Not, and if you are around, if people, if that dear old uncle is still drinking and he brings his booze, don't pull out your big book. Don't go in with your family carrying the program. You carry the message by your changed behavior. Don't quote the big book to, the drunk uncle. Don't do nobody's intervention. Just love on him. And whatever happens, live your recovery in front of your family. Don't preach. And I'm sorry to say, I preached for years and years. Well, I guess it worked because they're all in recovery now. But anyway, don't do it over the holidays. I think my family recovered just to get me off their back. I don't know. But anyway, whatever works. So, and remember, there's more than one way to do something. And it doesn't always have to be, our way. Another thing is take care of yourself. Number 2, make self-care a priority. Now, what that means is we need a period of time, just a short period of time to recharge. That can look like getting out for a walk. It can mean probably not while your family's here. Don't go off and read a book. But, if you have some spare time before while you're doing the preparation, I usually have at least 3 books started, and they're all over the house, and it doesn't take me long to sit down and read, a chapter or 3 or 4 pages, and I'm reading a really good one now that I'm going to share with you in a couple of weeks that I think will be real helpful to everyone. And that'll make you tune in because you're going to want to know what that book is. But it's a very good book, and I will share it with you in a couple of weeks. Okay, so take care of yourselves. Relax. You could even take a nap. Take a little nap. My former daughter-in-law, which I always call her my favorite daughter-in-law, she's still a member of our family. Her and my son had been divorced for years, but she called them McCarty's hang dogs because hound dogging, because after the meal we'd all, kind of pile up like a bunch of puppies and take a nap. So it's okay to do that. Just rest a little while. Get ready for those games. Another one is number 3, choose your battles. Oh, choose your battles. Not every disagreement, I can't hardly read my own word, not every disagreement needs immediate attention. If something comes up that ruffles your feathers or gets your tinsel in a tangle, pause, push that pause button. You don't always have to say something. I could not keep my frigging mouth shut, particularly early in recovery. I had an answer for everybody. I wore them out. If you want to keep someone away from the program, try to shove it down their throat. My family recovered in spite of me. Okay, so choose your battles and know when to let go and to maintain that peaceful atmosphere. And ask yourself, how important is it? How important is it that you disagree with whoever is there that has an opposite opinion of yours? 100 years from now, what difference is it going to make? So when in doubt, leave it out. Keep your mouth shut. We can always say something, but we can't take it back after those words are out of our mouths. Are you listening to me, Bradley? This is for you. When in doubt, leave it out. Okay, next. I can pick on him because he is so much fun. And I want to tell you, he's from Alexandria, and they have a recovery group down there that if you're ever close to Alexandria, Louisiana, it would be to your advantage to go to that. They call it 7 group, but it is AA, pure AA. And I mean, it's a wonderful group, in spite of Bradley being a member of. But they do a lot of humor. They do, but they are big book people. And anyway, so a plug for 7. Another one is number 4 is practice gratitude, and that's what I'm trying to stress this morning. Is be grateful that if you're early in recovery, be grateful that you are, and you may not have all the tools to use, for this holiday season, but you can always take a step back. And like I keep, particularly I encourage newcomers that maybe have just gotten out of treatment. Maybe this is going to be their first Christmas home, back home. Don't go in with your horn to toot about, the treatment center or the therapist or what good you got and how wonderful you are and how wonderful AA is. I can't stress enough to live it and not just blast it out. They don't want to hear it. They want to see the change in you. Okay, so number 5 is engage in activities. And I was thinking this when I was writing them, is plan activities that can bring joy and unite the family. And one of the things, Karen, when the kids were little, Karen's always been artistic, and one of the things that she would do is she'd gather and she'd bring the art supplies and she'd gather the kids together and they'd make little place cards for each one, around the table, and they'd make placemats. They would just do some kind of, and I'm talking about when the kids were little, because after 13, they don't want to do nobody's artwork. Even if they did, they don't want you to know it. So, but that's for little kids. Get them engaged in doing something that they can see their artwork on the table. And by the way, the table doesn't have to be perfect. Those little placemats, I still have some of them. I mean, they're tucked away, but it's brings good memories when I see the ones that my little grandkids made and put their names on them. All right, plan activities. I want to tell you, my friend Ashley, y'all all know that my friend Ashley Judd, there again, Bradley knows her real well. He got to have her picture right with her. Ashley taught us, my family, how to play running charades. And it was when she taught us, it was the day of my husband's funeral. The whole family was here, and what Ashley did is she got us all together. Yes, we grieved. It was a hard time. It was 2 weeks waiting every moment for him to take his last breath. We were just all worn out. And what Ashley did, she taught us how to play running charades. And it takes charades, out the roof. It's because you get your list of songs or books or whatever, and then, anyway, I'm not going to explain all of it. If y'all want to know about running charades, let me know, and Misty will type it up, or Karen will. But it was so much fun, and you cannot keep from laughing. And who you're laughing with and at, or it's you're laughing at yourself and laughing with your family. Laughter is so healing, even during a time of grief. And that's another thing. If this is going to be one of the first years of losing someone in your family, through death, it's okay to grieve. It is okay to grieve. And it's okay for you to have a good time. Your loved one would want you to. Okay, so playing games, running charades is one of them. Pool tournaments. Well, you have to have a pool table. We do have a pool table. That's one of the things that we do is have a pool tournament. Uh, putting on a Christmas movie. Kim and I have this ritual every year, and I'm so grateful that Kim does this for me. My husband, RL, and RL, we would take one night and he would wrap. I mean, he was precision and perfection in wrapping a present. He would wrap and I would bow. He would wrap and I would bow, and then I'd tag him. And that's what Kim and I did last night. And we put on Christmas movies, and we'd seen those movies dozens of times, but it doesn't matter. It's about the atmosphere. It's about the
So,
music.
Tennie, what's the movie? You got to tell us what your movie is because it may not be on our list. So what's the
Okay,
movie?
well,
It's like I do when I do group. Then veterans start talking about all the meetings they go to, and then when you start asking them, well, what meeting did you go to and what time was it? Then they get real vague and evasive.
okay, I'm going to tell you,
I'm double checking. What was
we
your movie?
watched Elf. And then we watched another one that wasn't very good when we kept it on mainly for the music, and and I can't even remember what it was. I wanted to watch Meet Me in St. Louis. In St. Louis, but my friend Misty wants to watch it with me, and just for spite, I was going to watch it, but I didn't. But
That's not a Christmas one, but it's good.
it's just about putting something on in the background. And then I got wide awake, and after Kim left, I stayed up. I found music. See, I'm not very electronic. I mean, I cannot even turn the TV on. It's too fancy. But anyway, I found this not classical, but popular Christmas music on the TV, and I had that going. And I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning listening to music and writing this out. I wrote this out at 3 o'clock. Most of the time I'll do it early of a morning before I meet with you folks, but I did it last night because I wasn't sleepy, and I just got to listen to that music. And music touches us at a fourth dimension. And it brought back such good memories. And anyway, so that's just share positive memories. My kids, I love to sit and listen to my kids talk about their past Christmases, and it's just so entertaining. Another thing that y'all might do if you're a couple is RL and I would. He was nobody's cook. He did not want to cook. He was a hard worker. He supported me in cooking. But one of the things that we'd do is we'd dress up in our Christmas stuff. You know, I had this long dress. I won't go into all of that, but anyway, it was Christmas attire. And he would kind of act like he was helping me a little bit in the kitchen, but we'd put on Christmas music and we would dance. And just little things like that mean so much. One time my grandson Spencer, who was about 10 or 11 then, he wanted to bake something, and I said okay, and we baked something chocolate. I don't know what it was, but he got that mixer going, and he loved it, and he was going, and it got all over the kitchen, and there's some on the ceiling, and I will not let the kids take it off. I want that up there for that memory, and when I have my kitchen repainted, I'm going to frame that off and keep that chocolate splatter on the top of my ceiling. And if I relapse, I'll get up there and lick it off. But anyway, it's just those remembrances of days gone by. So, number 6, this is a big one. Be aware of boundaries. Be aware of boundaries, even with family and particularly family. And respect their personal boundaries. and respect the boundaries of children. You know, children are, I mean, they're most of the time precious and sweet. You know, I've raised together, Arl and I raised 7 children. I am so over little kids. I mean, I love them as long as they're over there and I can see them for a little bit and they can go home, except grands and great grands. Now, those grandkids and those great grands and Misty's boys, that's different. But anyway, uh, pay attention to how you treat children. Because sometimes we will lose boundaries when it comes to kids. And I have to really watch myself, because we all just want to just put, a little rosy faced baby, you just want to pat them or, touch them or pat them on the head. Don't do that. Do not do that. There's a story that I tell, children get on planet Earth knowing how to set boundaries until an adult enters the scene. There's a story I tell about this. Let's say this dad and mom, they have this little kid about not quite 2, and let's say they came to a Christmas function. And here's this old great aunt. I mean, she's probably 81 or something anyway. And, she has drool coming out of the corners of her mouth and probably has bad breath and all. And this kid, this baby, has never seen this great Aunt Hattie. Let's call her Aunt Hattie. The kid's never seen her. But the father is so proud of the baby that he wants to introduce the baby to this great aunt. So here comes this great aunt up there. And the father takes the baby and leans over to the aunt and says, "Here, kiss Aunt Hattie." You watch that baby, that kid. What that kid will do, he or she knows how to set boundaries. And that child will bow his day and will come all the way back like that. And that is a boundary. And parents need to honor children's boundaries. If that child doesn't want to kiss Aunt Hattie, don't make him. Or hug, hugs are good, but ask a child before you just go up and hug them. Ask, "Hey, bud, you up for a hug?" And particularly, I don't know why I'm saying this, but we've worked with a lot of, particularly little redheaded children. They are cute, precious, and darling. All kids are. The little redheaded children are patted on the head way too much. And sometimes it will buy them a ticket to treatment. We've treated people, but that was one of the boundary violations that was made with them all of their lives because of that bright red hair. So just be conscious, just stay conscious of boundaries with children. And, ask them, "Are you up for a hug?" Or, and most children are, and some will say no, no, no. And no is a complete sentence. It's all right. Okay, another thing, number 7, is stay flexible. Up there where I said keep those expectations low, please do that and kind of learn to go with the flow, particularly if you're in someone else's house. Just kind of go with the flow. Like I said, there's lots of different ways to set a table. There's a lot of different ways to make mashed potatoes, except Karen does them the best. I don't care what your recipe is, she's the best. And so just kind of go, it's not about go along to get along, but in the holidays, that's kind of what I'm saying, is go with the flow. Don't let this time be a time that you're going to confront your mother about something she did, when you were 8 years old. That's not the appropriate time. Wait till you get inside a therapist's office to do that. And by the way, those that are the hardest for you to love, that maybe you've had problems with in the past, go the extra mile with them. And it doesn't mean you have to just love around on them. You can ask for a hug if you want to, and if you don't want to, don't hug them. treat them with some dignity and respect, and that will diffuse any tension. And what else did I put down here? All right, so the next thing then is to watch out for is communication. Communication is the key. It is about knowing when to say something and when to listen, and to have a listening for each other. To have, when someone's telling a story, I don't care if you've heard it 15 times, it's important to them to tell it, particularly if I'm speaking up for my age group here, particularly if you're a little older. You forget how many times you've told the same story. Humor them, and listen with intention. Listen with intention, and maybe get engaged in conversation with them. The communication is so important. There again, don't bring up all that stuff in the past. This is not the time to do it, but to be respectful. And another thing, avoid talking politics. I went out with my little boyfriend the other night, and we're on so opposite ends. It is pathetic how opposite we are in our political beliefs. And we made a commitment early on in our friendship. Misty's sitting here. She doesn't want to hear relationships, so we just have a friendship. And to not talk politics. But we had a delightful evening last Saturday night, and then he made the mistake of inching over there into the political arena for a few minutes. And I said, you're either going to stop talking about politics or just take me home. I'm not going to get engaged in this, because I'm not going to change and you're not going to change. Let's meet in the middle. I am more of a moderate and you're way over there on that other side. See, he got me engaged because I had to tell him how far over he was on the other side. So communication, but don't talk about politics. I would suggest you not talk about religion. Live it, show it. Live it in front of, and that's about your program also. Don't go in and talk about your program unless you're asked. And then, kind of soft step it then. Because particularly if they need the program, they may ask you something, you can share with them, but what they're going to do is set you up. They're going to set you up, and you're going to get caught in that trap, and then they're going to blame it on you. They'll say, well, that's all she wanted to talk about is going to Al-Anon or going to that OA or going to AA. Don't do that. Let your recovery speak for itself, okay? So, I guess, another thing is, let's see, what did I put out here? Create a new tradition. Kids love traditions. I mean, we've got some traditions that we've started many years ago, and I guess we'll have them forever. And they're not any great big things, but one of the things that we have done for years and years, it's a routine, and children love routine. They love to kind of know what to count on, with a few little surprises mixed in. But start some new traditions, or if you have traditions, keep doing them, because one of the things that, as old as I am, I keep saying that I'm old, but anyway, I think, well, the kids are going to get tired of some of this stuff, but they don't, and they expect those traditions to keep, that's all a part of the season. So one of the things that we do is that started when I came home from treatment is, the kitchen used to be the center of everything. And I spent hours and hours of cooking and preparing, and then I wouldn't even feel like enjoying anything because I'd stay up all night, doing all the preparation, and of course would not let anyone help me. I would not let anyone bring anything, and I would spread a table that looked like Norman Rockwell. And of course, I'd always take a picture of it, and then I wouldn't let anyone help with the cleaning up.
There's a step for that.
And then the next day, after everybody left, I would complain to my husband, look what all I did, and not one person offered to help. And you know what? My husband had the nerve to call me. I remember what I was wearing. I mean, I weighed almost 300 pounds, and I had on my old blue house coat that had food spots down the front, and that sucker called me a martyr. He said, that's what a martyr does. They do and do and do, and then complain that no one helps. So, Bradley, did you have something important to say, or are you just mouthy?
I was letting you know in your area of relapse that there is a step for that. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, and one of us can help you with that later.
Thank you so much, Bradley. I'm so glad you're here today.
After the meeting, apparently.
So one of the things is traditions. One of the things, like I said, we certainly eat. We have good meals, and we'll have some of those things that a few things that we had in the past. But really, our holidays don't really look much at all like they used to. But one of the things that we've done since I've been in recovery is on Christmas Eve. We order from, and there's a family-owned restaurant here. They're dear friends. I've known them for years, and they have fed us every Christmas Eve. And it's Mexican food, and what on a food plan, that is one of the easiest things to eat and stay on a good meal plan. And so we've been doing that for 35 years. And if we forget to call, they call us. What do y'all need this year? Y'all gonna order this year? And of course we are. And and I do it for two reasons. I do it because the family loves it. It's simple. We're not doing all that so much prep work on Christmas Eve. And another thing, it helps this family-owned business. And I would stress that. I mean, here I'm getting kind of off, but to the best of your ability, support family-owned or businesses or individual businesses. Yes, those big box stores are great, and I get lost in in Walmart every Tuesday when we go, and I'll continue to go to Walmart. But I also go to the small, there's not a lot of them left, but small businesses, small business owners is what I'm trying to say. All right, so start your own tradition. Another thing that we do, and we've done it since my grandson came along because he was the baby, and Christy and Cam started preparing Christmas breakfast for us because we would all get up and rush up the hill to Cam and Christy's before, the boy got up. From the time he was born until he was 21 years old, which he is now. We would rush up to the top of the hill to be there, so we'd all be there when he got up or right after he got up, for Santa Claus. That's a tradition. And I suspect if we have some little grandkids coming along, if he has some children, I suspect that tradition might continue. It may not be on the same day because they may be at other grandparents, but So my point is we breakfast with, we're here for Christmas Eve. We're up at Kim. She does a marvelous breakfast for us. We have a long afternoon. We do the presents, and then we have a long winter's nap, all of us, and then we have an early dinner, and that's down here at my house. And then that dinner, sometimes they just rush through it because my kids love to play 42. And I don't know if y'all know what 42 is, but it's a domino game. And they are serious, and they will play then until, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They love to play 42, and they're very competitive, every one of them. And what I get is the joy of, I get to sit in my big easy chair and I watch you. I can play 42, but I'd much rather watch them and listen to them and the laughter and the joy. And so, when the little ones come along, and I don't get to be with my great grands, they don't come on holidays, but this Christmas, what I'm going to have come Friday is I'm going to have my oldest grandchild here from Lubbock, Karen's daughter, and my youngest grandchild, Spencer B. They will be here together, and we're going to do us some celebrating. And I'll miss the others, but celebrate with the ones that are around. Take pictures, involve them through, we can Zoom in all of that, because of electronics. All right. So that is what I have, and what I want to say is, don't get your tinsel in a tangle. It is just, the day that what we're celebrating is the birth of Christ. And to celebrate that day and how we celebrate it is up to you, how you want to celebrate. It may be just very quiet. It may be you by yourself. It may be you and a couple of family members. There may be 25 or 30 people there. But however you celebrate, don't forget whose birthday it is. And it's really, we don't know for sure when the day that Jesus was born, but it was chosen that this day, December 25th, is the day that we do celebrate his birth. And so, Christmas Eve falls on Sunday. And, there are going to be candlelight services all over the world come Sunday, I would suspect. So that's what I have. To share with us how you celebrate, what's up for you. Do you get your tinsel in a tangle, or do you just not, or do you just bring your program along and everything you do? Hope you do. So who would like to start? I'd really like to know what each of you are, what y'all do for the holidays. Who would like to start?